this movie, American Refugee.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? You still
Can hear you.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. You guys, I think you did an amazing job. And so for you, I had some questions about how your character kind of deals with the whole situation. If you can talk a little bit about what inspired you on how you decided to play that.
Sure. Well, as you know, the family has to go to a neighbor's bunker because everything's collapsing around them. And when they go to this bunker, they find out that they went right into probably the worst situation they could get in, but also in the best situation because they're protected from the outside, but there's danger inside. And so they bring their problems with them. And right now, Helen is going through some transitional problems in her marriage. And then also she's a new mother again. She's got 3 children and she's got an autistic child. This is not the best situation to put into a room with no windows and very little air. So I think that also that she's the fact that she's a doctor. She's trying to use all her intelligence and her cerebral and her smarts to keep them safe, but she's also brought the weight of the world on her because she's having issues with her marriage. And so I decided to play that as honestly as I could. You're trying to be a mother, you're trying to be all these other things, but you're also vulnerable, you're also angry, and you also frustrated. And this is the worst time for this to happen. And I think all you can do is sort of let it speak for itself.
Okay. And what about the role itself? How did you get involved with it?
I got a call from Ali Leroy, who was actually a friend of mine, and he told me about the part and the script and his intentions on it. I like that he purposefully said that he got involved and he wanted a dark-skinned family. And he certainly got one because Derek Luke is one of the prettiest people in Hollywood, and he is dark-skinned. And I am dark-skinned and have been there a long time. And I think that the Zamani, so beautifully dark and also bodacious. She's not a small young woman. She's very full, and I like that. We don't see them being the damsel in distress or being the ingenue, but she's our ingenue. And I also loved Peyton and our baby Titan. We got to give Titan Derek and Titan fell in love because Titan, the one who played the baby, is a man's child, and he really loved Derek. So I love seeing that all in there. So it was a wonderful thing to be asked to be a part of. Certainly a wonderful thing to work with Derek Luke, who I've admired for years and seen grown up in movies. And so that's a win-win.
Nice. And for you, Derek, I know you worked with Blumhouse before with the Purge. And so how did you get involved with this movie?
Sort of the traditional announcement. You're my agent, my manager. They sent it to me. The only challenge was that I was working on something, and then they was like, "Well, they're asking you to read for it," and I was like, "Oh no, not right now. I got 8 pages tomorrow, and I just got them." And so my wife read the opposite lines with me over Zoom. And shout out to my girl, because so that was how I came to be a part of the project. Was that your question?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And also, like, what else drew you to the role?
The more and more I get a chance to be around, I said it on a previous interview, but a different way, that part of my career, I've allowed people to be in the driver's seat opposed to me driving. And what was interesting was from day one of my introduction, I purposed to, or I desired to go for materials that were vehicles. And I think there is no education of show business like the one you learn and your instinct. And for so long, I have suppressed my instinct. and I was looking for vehicles, and I hear around other compadres in the industry, black and white, but more the white guys, they talk about vehicles. And so even though I've done this for a few years, I'm like, I'm looking for vehicles, and I'm looking for a good story, the culture. And to be honest, like, I will say this a lot, but I didn't know how gifted Mrs. Erika was and opinionated this woman is, and how funny she is, and how dramatic she is. And so, you know, I'm excited because of the new ventures of getting to be a part of what people will see very shortly, in 9 days. I'm a
Nice.
prophet.
Nice. I love that. I love it. Yeah, and as I was telling Erika, you both are fantastic in this movie.
Fantastic. That's it? What?
Yeah.
I'll take it, Derek. Don't be greedy.
One of the things that I really like is, especially now, like after quarantine and a lot of the things that we're seeing going on, even still now, you're seeing the possibility of something like this happening. And we've already kind of seen it. I mean, a lot of businesses went out. A lot of people lost jobs, homes, all of that from COVID. So I wanted to know, from your perspective, what can this movie show people? Because I thought the ending also was very interesting and not what I expected, but I don't want to give that away. So.
Go ahead, Derek. What can this movie show people? And let's talk about, because on set we talked a lot about the state of the world and the politics around the collapse of things.
Yeah, I know, for me, when I go back to my neighborhood, I think one of the, it may not be the same as what you're sharing, but one of the not disheartening things is that I realize a lot of men from my neighborhood have never left the 4-mile radius. And I think where we are as a world, a nation, from shootings, that now, you know, I think there's a conversation that's being had with people you usually never have them with. And I just maybe a small frame of our production gives people an opportunity to talk or have a conversation. And, you know, that's what I'm excited, because I didn't grow up personally talking to a lot of, you know, white men, but I obviously had more of those conversations as I got older and went into this business. So it may not be exactly what you're asking, but I'm just sharing a vantage point of what stood out for me. Yeah.
I think we're in the paradigm, Nancy.
Yeah.
Two men enter, one man leave. It's not just with the COVID thing where people make a decision of Darwinism. Some people think it's personal. I think it's something that propagates communities and civilizations forward. We're having fights and conversations about authoritism and people who are coming in like strongmen. But strongmen show up when civilizations are at their weakest, when they can't decide, when they decide to be polarized. And as long as we act polarized and we distinguish ourselves as enemies toward each other, we can't come together when there's a necessary time to come together, like the time we're in a plague. We are in a plague, and we will be in this plague unless we act and stop it. So it's the worst time because we're all polarized. We're talking about things about health and whether people be immunized, but we're really talking also about political power and the lack of power because people feel threatened by a new minority majority. And that is where it's at. And I think that in that space, civilizations have collapsed before and it could happen again. And I don't have a bunker. So there you go.
Okay, thank you. And I just wanted to say you guys are killing it. I mean, I love seeing you guys in movies and stuff like that, and you guys are doing so great. Not just this movie, but your whole careers. So.